Yeah, it's that coming up from the bottom. Day $1, $0 type shit. The only thing I'm ducking is the graveyard. Really with the shit y'all niggas play hard. I made it to a bus, I'm selling 8 balls. I came up from nothing, I can never take a day off. The only thing I'm ducking is the graveyard. Really with the shit y'all niggas play hard. I made it to a bus, I'm selling 8 balls. I came up from nothing, I can never take a day off. Turn your baby mama crib into a stash spot. And we moving more aggressive than the last shot.
What's up, guys?
What up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I got to get some Instagram out.
I know, you're sneaking a reel in there, huh?
I'm trying to, well, I'm not very sneaky, that's for sure. Trying to, I just realized I couldn't add music to it.
Oh, what?
Well, no, I mean, I can.
Oh.
Now I'm just rushing because it took longer.
Right?
It's like, I realized you were already on here. What's up, dude? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, man.
What are we talking about today?
I don't know, man. It's Friday. A lot of stuff going on.
Friday, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of growth, man. We've been averaging, man, like 10 agents a month, which is awesome. That's just like that's not our forte, but like as much as we love doing deals and we crank a lot of deals, it's now into like agent attraction and really just helping agents across the country, man, just learn how to build their business, their brand, level up. We've got a lot of agents crushing that, dude.
We do.
It was fun because like this last event we did a couple weeks ago, we had like 200 something people sign up. Man, a couple hundred showed out. Really good event.
Yeah.
And we had some folks from out of state that are already a part of our network that are crushing. Junior was there. A couple of others were there that are just already part of our network that are winning. That's what I love seeing is like proof of concept. Not that just we can do some things and cool, it's successful, but other people can take the same model and make it successful.
Other people completely different from Will and Eli.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Quiet, reserved.
Vegan.
Junior's vegan.
Vegan.
Bless his heart, bro. He
is a Marine, but he's fucking vegan too.
Well, listen. Turn this mic up a little bit. Let me
paint that bitch up here.
Let me paint this picture. So, Junior comes into town, fellow Marine. He was with Anthony and Avery.
Yeah, our guests from last week.
Yep, who are also a part of us now. Studs, Marines. Me, Marine, right? He had to stay at my house. Dude, Junior's been with us for a minute now, and I didn't know. I'm ordering dinner for everyone, right? Because we're doing like my cold plunge and stuff in the garage. Guys want to like feel what it's like to torture yourself and shit and how long they can go. So like they're doing it. Having a good time, man. They're enjoying the house, enjoying the views. That's half the reason I got the damn house was to let people that are part of our network just enjoy not only being there, but just realizing what's possible, right? So I'm ordering dinner. Like, what do you order when it's like, dude, bunch of dudes hanging out on top of that, just a bunch of Marines, dudes hanging out. We just had a killer fucking event. Like, yeah, man, let's just order up some pizza, fucking call it good. Yep. And this is when Junior's like, comes out of the vegan closet and is like, I'm vegan. I'm like,
yeah, shit.
Well, here's where I'm at in life now, which is a good thing. My first reaction was like, yeah, cool, bro. Like, so what can I order to make sure like I can accommodate you?
Sure.
Then I caught that coming out of my fucking mouth. Tasted like shit. It tasted vegan. Like a vegan aftertaste coming out of my fucking mouth. And I was like, wait. I was like, wait, what the fuck did he just say to me? But all good, just busting it. But then, so he had to deal with me. He had to deal with 2 other Marines, just giving him shit. But no, man, super cool. He was able to like, I had stuff at my house that was like vegan Oreos, believe it or not.
Yeah, hey.
Oreos are vegan.
And he scraped a pile of cheese off.
Yeah, I got him a pizza with like just a ton of veggies on it. I think they accidentally kept the cheese. I put no cheese.
Yeah.
But I'm sure like whoever got my order at the pizza shop was like,
no.
He's dumb.
Right. Yeah.
And then like just made it.
Right.
He scraped it. He made it work. Super good dude. But man, I love helping. I feel like leadership, influence, like that's where our wheelhouse is right now. And I want to take that as far as I can and love on everybody. Well, we were talking about it this morning. This is what we can just give a little bit of 2 cents as far as like where everyone's at. Like and this is for us too. Right? Like when you're leveling up and you're trying to be a part of different circles, or you're just starting to become a part of different circles because you're leveling up, you still have to pay attention to the work that's got to put in. That's got to be put in. and what your part is, like where the value add is, right? And like, so just starting off, like one of my biggest things is like, I know where my value is going to come. We've got close to 100 agents now. Like they're crushing, they're doing a great job. Like I can see it. And we know there's proof of concept. So like humbly, not saying this from an egotistical standpoint, I know and understand the value add we give agents, the amount of mentorship and just real go-to how-tos to increase their business they get while being here.
Yeah.
When I was a new agent, it was never like, all right, well, what can someone do for me? You know, like when I started out super early, iHomes, you know, like I went there because I had a buddy go, hey man, these guys got a really, like, hey, even though you're licensed, they got a really cool onboarding course. They're going to teach you just some really good how-tos, whatever. Here's where you need to be. So it's like, cool, I'm going to go there and man, they're going to pour into us more than enough for me. It was never about, are they going to do the work for me? Are they going to put a client in front of me? Are they going to give me something? It was like, hey, the fact that you're just going to expose how this really works is enough. Like when I was a cop, dude, you do the academy, correct? Mm-hmm. Once you're done with the academy, you graduate, then you go to what we call field training program. So you're with FTOs, you're with field training officers. Okay. You go through 3 months of that. Each month, the amount of work gets progressively, you start taking on more of the workload.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yep.
Every month that you're going through that. And I think like every week to every 2 weeks, it just gets incrementally bigger. And as long as you graduate that, then you'll actually be on the streets, right? That's kind of like, you go to real estate school or you go to college or whatever, like then you get out into the real world. So whether it's college or you go get your real estate license, doesn't matter. Our entrepreneurs that are not in real estate, this applies to you too. Whatever you do, trade school, college, you get some form of like license, general contract, whatever you're doing, or nothing. You're just out there. Like once you get put into the real world per se, and people are willing to like show that, you got to understand like how big of a value add that is. And you should be looking more toward, hey, what can I do for them in order to just make sure I'm earning being a part of this, not what they can do for me. Like in real estate, you get a lot of that, man. Like, and where I start shutting down, so those of you that ever want to like work with us, if you're listening, love you, right? And we would love to work with you. But if you come in from a position of like, so what's in it for me?
Yep.
Because, and full disclosure, I don't take any of your deal.
Yep.
I don't take any money off of your deal. Revenue share is just different over here. But like, man, I get a fucking chip on my shoulder. And I'm patient with it, and I try to like shed some light on some things because I don't expect everyone to like see certain things the way I see things. But like, man, I think that's bred in me from the Marine Corps on through, man. Just to be able to be in a room with motherfuckers at a certain level, dude, like that's important. Like, so when folks come in entitled of like, well, hey, so if I were to join your team, what does that do for me? Nothing. Zero.
Yep.
This is not the team for you.
100%, dude.
Nothing.
That's the answer too.
I'm not sure, like, because I don't want you to be there first. I want you to like, now I'm also saying this from a place of like, hey man, we've been around for a minute. We've got some accomplishments. We've got proof of concept. We've got real units of measurement for success. This is not me expecting you to come work with me day one that I'm in real estate.
We don't convince anyone to work with us. We don't convince anyone to do shit.
And I'm kind of like struggling with some of that because we're getting to a good level of success, man. We're getting some good outreach and we've got a lot of like good people that are coming around. And you can see it. And I believe in everybody. I'm humble enough to understand you don't know who is going to crush. You don't know who's going to pop off and just really take ownership and crush it. So for me, it's like I want to give everybody an opportunity. But there's just been a little bit, because like real estate's in this shift. I'm not sure what you guys do outside of real estate, as an entrepreneur, whatever you're doing, but maybe you're having a shift as well, because a lot of times when real estate shifts, so does like anything else.
The economy as a whole.
Economic wise, it just shifts, right? But like, so interest rates went up a little bit. Homeowners were kind of freaking out, right? Like, so hey, we should sell now. It's the top of the market. More homes are going on, but they're also being a little bit more decisive with which agent they use because they realize, man, it's not just some monkey that can sell a house anymore.
100%.
Buyers are also kind of the same way. Buyers stopped for a little while because interest rates were kind of creeping. So until it started to stabilize, buyers weren't sure what to do because they weren't sure how high their interest rates were going to go. So buyers slow down. And if you were the average agent doing 5-7 deals a year, you weren't doing any all of a sudden. Yeah. And if you were doing 30 a year, man, it might have cut in half depending on your cycle, where you're at with your clients and et cetera, et cetera. The bottom line is, in real estate, agents have been eager to get around people that can help level them up. But in that, they've been looking for handouts.
Yeah.
At the same time, right? It's like we have to kind of weed through that, and it baffles me. But then it's like then you start seeing who's going to win and who's going to lose, because as you start seeing people that come around and they say a lot of good things, but they're not putting a lot of the work in, and they keep kind of like, well, yeah, but I was just thinking this or whatever, It's like, man, this guy just wants me to do it for him, or like this person just literally wants me to. I think this person's asking me for money, but doesn't really know how to just go, hey man, can I borrow some money?
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I'm giving you so much money if you just go apply yourself with the how-tos. And this is where I have to pause myself a little bit, because I get pissed off. And I get pissed off because it's like, man, I've had a bankruptcy before.
Mm-hmm.
I slept in a fucking pantry. I sold every possession I ever had because that's what I was willing to do to start over and to win, while not expecting anyone to do anything for me. I did all of that, got recalibrated, did Lyft at night, Uber and Lyft at night. You've seen the videos. They're still on my fucking Instagram. Go back to the beginning of my Instagram. Studied all day during the day. And then when I got into the real estate game, I've never been on leads, never been on a campaign, never had a lender buy me leads, never been somewhere where like, hey, I'm here because they're going to be giving me business. I learned the fundamentals. I learned how to be a practitioner and the value behind what an agent should be. I was focused on, hey, what should an agent be? How should he be representing? And what makes an actual professional broker? What makes him such? And then I started creating myself into that with the work, not, hey, how much can I go out every day looking for a handout, trying to say the right thing? And it's like, man, so dude, I get pissed because it's like, man, even if I gave you a handout, it's not going to help you.
Nope.
It's just not going to fucking help you. And if you just knew how to just go all in, and man, we've talked about it, I think before,
Or go all the way the fuck out.
or just get the fuck out.
Get out, man. A lot of those, a lot of those people, man, they're the employees, man. Like when someone starts talking like that, I'm like, you're just a fucking employee, dude. Like your mentality, your DNA, whatever that is, you're an employee because you go to an organization, you have a role you're trying to fill, and it's okay. Hey, what's my vacation? What are the perks that you guys offer? Do you guys offer healthcare?
Yeah.
It's like that sort of thing. Just they do it in real estate, not understanding that like, hey, this is the Wild West. With the guys that are over here, like you're entrepreneurs.
But here's where they're going to lose. So now that real estate shifted, right? Like we hang our license with EXP, right? It's one conglomerate, one cloud-based brokerage. You've got a ton of heavy hitters here. Like it's awesome, man. Like, and we've been here for years now before we've even mentioned where we were at, right?
Yep.
And I love it. And here's why I love it. We can have agents in America, Canada, Italy, Spain, Mexico, Puerto Rico, fucking everywhere, man. Like when you're on a traditional team, like when you're at a traditional brokerage, right? Keller Williams, Remat, you name it. Not bad talking anybody, just
It's different.
So take your
models.
fucking ego out of it if you're at Keller, right? I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me, right? Your stock sucks. Don't be mad at me. But when you have a team, like let's just use Berkshire for example, not because whatever. You had to have only people that could be on your team per se is in that part of town, willing to hang their license at that office and be a part of that little right?
Correct.
So whoever you had willing to be on your team, like you had to really squeeze that sponge and just get the best out of them. And team meetings every Friday, accountability meetings once a week for every agent. So that was half of 2 days right there on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And then Tuesday we were teaching a class. My entire week was that.
Yep.
And like the agent on the team per se, because you get paid off of their deals, they kind of had leverage. Like you don't want them to go because that they're, the money that they make is also part of the money that you make. We're not in that model anymore. And you and I do a fuck ton of our own fucking deals. I don't need your money.
Yep.
But it was still that. That's just the nature of it. Where we're at now, dude, some of our most successful agents have never even met us in person. They get our private training. They get our private Facebook groups. They get phone calls. They get private one-on-ones. They apply what we're teaching. They don't need to be here to touch my hand to be successful. And it's like, wow, now that it's scaled, we can find every single go-getter that wants to apply themselves and go crush. And it's also another proof of concept that they don't need to be here to touch and feel me to become successful. If they can make it to town, great, but they don't have to because they get plenty of us, and we live stream all the shit that we do. So if they're not in town, if they can't make it, it's live streamed.
Yep.
So the narrative has changed now that there's a one conglomerate brokerage. We can have agents anywhere, which means if you're a go-getter, If you're wanting to level up and put the work in, you're going to fucking win here.
You are.
And if you're the other side of that table where like you've been looking for handouts or wanting people to like do the work for you, you've been kind of skating a little bit and people have been kind of like giving you part of their deal because they feel bad for you, whatever. Like, hey man, being the stray cat on the porch ain't fucking working anymore because it's like, hey, it's just no longer needed.
Yeah.
We don't need to like make that person
the priority,
more than they even want to be just to try to like squeeze the juice out of it because the model's changed now. So I love it. But what baffles me is like, even in a shifting market where like agents know they need help and they've got to level up, there's still some that have that sense of entitlement or do it for it for me.
You see that everywhere. And where I saw it a lot, like in fitness and training, is like the people that always think that there's some secret that they don't know about that's keeping them from results, or that there's some fucking supplement, or there's some exercise, or there's just one little thing that no one's told them about that's keeping them from getting the results.
They're full of shit.
Like, bitch, you should have started logging your food fucking a year ago. You should have started doing cardio a year ago.
Yeah.
That's all it is, you know? And the other thing I'm starting to realize too with agents as we're growing our group and we're having these conversations with people, man, it's like the people that come over, like the go-getters that you mentioned, it's almost like, man, you can see that talent and that effort almost immediately, like within the first couple of weeks,
especially like a couple of questions that they have, like, because you can see where their mindset's
and dude, and after they're onboarded and stuff, it's like, man, they're fucking going, and it's like, man, versus the people where it's like 3 months will go by and hey, I'm thinking about this. And I don't know if they're ever going to get there,
and and like I ride this, and I'm sure you do as well. We ride this like fine line of like educating and exposing everything it is that we do. And like, hey, here, because I want to expose people to a bigger vision.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's some hard workers that are not entitled that just need to have some light shed on them to think bigger.
As to what's possible.
And then once they start thinking that, you can see it. But I ride this line of like being able to do that while also not feeling like I'm talking you into being here like I need you. There's a fine line there. And it's like, it's like you can almost tell when they're going a different direction. And you see me on Zoom calls. I literally, like, dude, or even in person, but there's one Zoom call in particular I'm thinking of. We were at Gavin's office, remember, on the fucking laptop. And the guy started asking certain things, and I was just like, hey, man, I'm just going to be real with you. I'm not the fucking guy for you. Here's what we're doing. Here's where we're winning. Here's how other agents are winning. But if that's your mindset, man, I'm not. I just can't. And he's not here today. But I feel like I did that guy a fucking favor.
You did.
But you just ride the line of that, right?
Save
like,
our time, save his time.
Well, dude, but what I'm trying to get at here, like I'm like circling the drain, I guess, to like my main point of like, listen, you can't be wanting to like get into a better circle or a higher circle or level up, however you want to fucking frame it in your brain. But you've got the mentality of like, because that circle can do something for me. If they're successful, it's already known. There's probably value there for you. It's more so, hey, what can you do for them to just earn your seat at the table, man? And there could be some things you could do for them. Sometimes there's nothing you can do for them except go apply yourself and put the work in on what they're teaching and then be your own fucking success story. Like, do that. If that's all you can do, because I promise you, for a guy like me, I don't need money off your deals. I don't need fucking thank you. I don't need nothing. Just go win. Because if you're winning, we're winning. Right? And if you don't know how revenue share works, then you've got to educate yourself, but it's fucking powerful. But if that's all you've got, then hey, that's okay. Or for example, like we had a guy here in our brokerage, in our network, super, I won't mention any names, but super big guy. He asked me to come speak for him out in Arizona. A couple people asked why I was going to go do that. Now, he wanted me to come speak because even though I'm not as big as him per se in total network of agents or whatnot, we were crushing deals, doing super successful with our YouTube channel. But he was intrigued by, hey man, like you're this special operations guy, this infantry guy. How does that world correlate to this world? Like, what did you do to like create such a stream of success so early on within real estate? Would you mind coming out and speaking? I said, man, absolutely. And he's in our direct network, right? So like, of course, but a couple people did ask, hey, why are you going down there to speak? I go, what do you mean? And they said, well, everybody that you're going to be speaking to is already a part of this brokerage. Like you're not going to get anybody into your network because the people are already in his, which I'm also a part of his technically, right? So like, and I was like, cool, like, but why would that not make me And I'm thinking, and I wasn't rude to anybody because I don't think anybody was trying to be rude. They were just trying to like help me with my time or something. It's like, hey, this is where I'm different. Listen to me. I'm going to go out there for 3 days and I got to have dinner with this guy. I got to watch him train agents all fucking day. I get to see the material he's handing out. I get to see how he answers questions and what he's doing because this guy's got 7,500 agents. Mm-hmm. Just fucking being in the room, dude, and watching what he's teaching, how he's teaching, when he's teaching, how he navigates questions, just observing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be able to take so much of that home. Of course I'll fucking travel and speak. First of all, the fact that you think highly of me enough to even go do that, thank you. Mm-hmm. Right? And then I get to shut the fuck up for 3 days and just watch. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, that same guy is a guy that reached out to me. And we've kept in touch. He's watching us grow, and we're putting in the work. It's not just some romantic, you were this military guy, so that's why you get to go speak. No, au contraire. Okay, no. Yeah. Like, you still got to be growing and becoming successful and whatever, right? But we've kept in touch before then, during then, and now we're still friends. And like now it's to a point where like if I ask that guy for a phone call, he calls me within 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like, but I don't always ask him for a phone call. So this guy text messages me, 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Hey man, looking at getting you to speak at EXPCon. No guarantees, but it's in the mix. I'm your biggest fan. Send me some bullet points just to make sure I speak about you appropriately for, your overall real estate success, what you've done prior. Sent that stuff right over. He's like, cool, man. Hey, looks like I've got you on the main stage. 99% sure, unless something blows up. Like, you're speaking on the main stage. I didn't ask this guy for that.
Nope. And for people who don't know, like EXPCon, it's the biggest EXP event. It's in Vegas.
There's over
10,000 people.
10,000 plus agents are going to be there.
Yeah, it's a big
right?
deal.
Like the content we get from that,
It's a big deal.
And dude, just the ability to meet certain levels of big hitters while we're there and just being a part of it. And just, man, there's going to be but like, dude, I didn't think that he was going to have something for me in the future. And like, that's why I'm going down there. No. What he had for me already was enough. And that was me just being able to observe. Mm-hmm. Because then I came back and I go, dude, this guy's got this many fucking agents. And when I'm down there watching him train, I go, dude, he's training agents on the basics of building brand, doing more business, agent attraction, but the basic agent attraction being fundamentally, I'm like, and it was literally proof in the pudding that there is no secret sauce. He's been training that and educating that from agent number 1 all the way through agent 75. And like, but the way that he's consistent with his network, the way he treats them, the way he welcomes them, like watching him interact and answer people's questions during lunch. How much lunch did he eat? Did he go into another room or was he for 3 fucking days?
Right.
This guy's entertaining everybody as far, and you can tell he's interacting. He doesn't know I'm watching for that reason. Mm-hmm. But he was eating his lunch while people were coming up to him and taking photos and asking questions, and then like the way he helps me, some different stuff that he does in private. I'm like, man, I got it. And I'm showing him everything we're doing. And this is where it was super cool of him to talk. Cause he was like, hey man, you guys are doing it better than I did. Just keep doing it. Cause some things are just time too.
Yeah.
Right? Not necessarily doing anything more per se, but you just gotta let time, you can't keep adding seasoning to a marinade.
Right.
It's like, no, man, the marinade's good. You just gotta let the fucking steak sit for 48 hours. Yeah. Like stop opening the bag and trying to throw more shit. Yeah. It's not gonna speed. It's good. Just let it take its course.
Yeah,
but dude, what I learned down there was more than enough. I didn't expect shit from him. And then when he throws this stuff at me, which is now over a year later, well, we're prepared for it. We're having some wins. And he felt like, and what he told me on the phone, because I was like, hey man, I love you for that. I appreciate it. He goes, Will, you're a good guy. You got a great story. You got a big heart. Man, I love your interaction with your family. I think you're a good fit for this, man. I think you're a good guy. And hey, we want some other good guys around doing this stuff. Now, I don't think that's political. I think it's diplomatic. I think it's like, hey, guys that are at a certain level of success, they're protective of, hey, we'll let people around, we'll help everybody, but like, who are you letting in to speak or hey, who are we signing off on? Just as much as I was paying attention to like his stuff when he was training, he's paying attention to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And what I'm doing and what I'm posting and what I'm all about and consistent growth. And he's like, you got a big heart. I think you're a great guy. And that was fucking cool because I feel like it's unexpected. Didn't necessarily feel like he needed to do that for me. Super gracious, but like it felt good to also feel like, hey, we're earning that because there is no expectation. We're just going to continue to grow. And then when those opportunities come or people want to make you a part of something, and this is what people got to understand. I'll leave you with this and I'll let you have the last note on this podcast. If you feel like people aren't doing something for you, or like, oh, well, they've helped this person, but they're not helping me. Like, you got to focus on the work, right? Like, and if you're thinking that way, you got to realize how much time goes in before you're actually invited to certain things. And if you get invited too quick, like if someone's signing off on me too quick, or inviting me, or like trying to overly involve me into something too quick, I'm like, man, they don't even know me. Like, are they trying to lean on me? Makes sense?
Makes you question their experience.
Well, it makes you question their experience. It makes you question the integrity of whatever brand that they're trying to build. Like, I don't know, but like, man, real things just take time.
They do.
And at the end of the day, you just can't have the expectation. You got to realize that just being in the room, and if you're seeing everything the right way, you're going to pull so much from that and apply it to your own level of success. I don't need what they're deciding to involve us in. It's amazing and it's super appreciated, but it's not a requirement in order for me to become successful. And that's what a lot of folks got to start understanding is like just watching what people do and how they conduct themselves and what they're doing and why they're doing. If people just fucking saw our channel and started looking at titles and started watching with the stopwatch or some bullshit like how long we go before B-roll or drone footage shows up, why we put movie clips, like how, right? Like if you just started watching the formula and just go to our fucking channel, you'd figure out a lot, but people don't. They still have to be told, even at the most basic level, which it's okay because some people just need the light shed, right? But it's also like, man, I can tell right away, like your frame of mindset is off. I need to help. And it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means, cool, now I know where I need to lead you. We've got to make some pivots on what you're doing. And I'm going to force you to make decisions. I'm not going to give you answers. And that's me actually empowering you fundamentally. And just like when you talk about people hitting mitts or like in jiu-jitsu, right? You can learn and you can role play all these fucking moves. You got to go compete. You can listen to me hypothetically talk about your life until we're fucking blue in the face. You got to go and figure out like what's working and not working for you. And you're not going to figure that out until you actually go apply it to your life. And then you put in duration of time to just allow time to take its course.
And the best part about that is that you're going to find shit that, man, you're naturally good at, where that's going to be your huge advantage, to where if you weren't out there just doing a bunch of shit, you could never find that fucking talent.
Like you said earlier, you know what we're fucking good at? We're fucking good at doing a lot of shit. Well, you and I are good at not quitting. Quitting is off the table. Okay, quit. Like if you guys can see our table, it's amazing. There's no quitting on this table.
No quit on this table.
It's not that we don't have things that haven't worked before or whatever it may be. Like, hey man, but just quitting's off the table. You've just got to learn how to make pivots and be fundamentally sound and put the work in. And you'd be surprised, like if you just go to the gym every day and start applying yourself, and just if you just look at the little fucking stick figure on the machine that tells you the different ways you can use it. And you can see the position the person's in, and okay, you could do chest, or you could do arms, or you could do back on this thing. All right, cool. I'll do this. Okay, stand like. If you just look at the fucking sticker, on the machine, and go, you're gonna get a feel for that machine over time, and you go dude. You do that for a year, you're gonna be pretty fucking good at working out. Because you'll feel it, and if something hurts, don't do that. Change your position. Figure out to isolate. Like. You learn so much in the process, but I feel like lately, man, there's just been a couple that are like, they're either asking me for money or they're asking me for the answer. And now there are people in business where I said, hey man, I need you to do this, right? There's a youngster in our office. I do that with him sometimes. He's been around long enough. I know who he is. I know his work ethic. He's proven it. I've seen his level of success. So when I tell him, hey, I need you to make this pivot, I need you to start doing this, it's because I trust him as a vehicle. I trust him as a player. People have to, I'll leave everyone with this. People have to understand there is talent involved with entrepreneurship, whether it's real estate or anything else. You can acquire that talent. You can play this game and get better at it. It's not just you got to be naturally great at fucking sales. No, you can get good. and build that. Just like you got people that are naturally talented at sports, and you got people that are okay but train a fuck ton to become great. And you, dude, even at the professional level, you have some. If I'm not giving you a specific, hey, I need you to do this marketing campaign like this with your fucking face on it.
Yep.
Now, it's because I don't trust you as a player yet.
Yep.
And here's why. You've got to take fundamentally what we've been talking about, and you've got to go into your pond, and you've got to start applying it to create some fruit from your labor. And as we get data on you, as you start seeing what works for you, then we can get more specific with how you attack it. But if I don't even know where you're at as a player, I'm not going to give you a specific how-to. And here's why. When you're looking for that from me, but you haven't established yourself as a player, I could tell you the right thing and you fuck it up. I could tell you the right thing and you just not be good at it. I could tell you the right thing and you just not put enough consistent effort behind it before you give up on it. And then you're coming to me telling me that my idea didn't work.
You could do the wrong thing.
And listen, you're fucking wrong. And what's cool about the level of leadership we're getting into now is we have enough proof of concept around the country. We have enough successful agents. You're starting to see the pattern, and then you don't doubt yourself as a leader. When you're early on, you've only got a couple folks like, man, is it working?
Yep.
Nope. Yep. It's like, no. There's handfuls of people making things work, all different personalities, right? But it all comes down to like that work. So if you're looking for that handout or for someone to do you a favor or tell you specifically what to do, and I'll tell you this much, if a leader doesn't know you that well and they're telling you, go do this, I promise you everything they teach is cookie cutter. They're telling everybody the same fucking thing. That is a red flag if you want to actually become developed by a real leader, by a real mentor, because what works for one person may not work for the next. And it's like those trainers that'll give the cookie cutter online diet to everybody.
Yep.
Right? Like, okay, you're medium build. Okay, you're fat. Okay, you're skinny. And they just give one of 3 diet plans out for $100 a month.
Yep.
Fuck you.
Yep.
Or maybe not. Maybe they do that because it's like, well, I'm going to give you some basic shit because if you can't even follow this basic thing, one, I'm never going to even know how your body responds to the basic, which means I can never actually give you a specific custom productive relationship / diet and training.
Yep.
So there's probably rhyme and reason to it. So let me correct myself. And I guess that's where we're somewhat basic with fundamentals. There are some basic social media, neighborhood, farming, other social media platforms that we do give that I guess could be considered a basic diet, like I'm speaking. So yeah, let me stand corrected. I guess that's the ones. It's like, hey, you've got to be able to execute there.
You're right.
Before we can even get into an advanced diet.
You're right.
Because if you're not consistent, and I'm not going to sit here and try to get all fucking scientific with your diet if I can't trust that you're going to be consistent, because then you're just going to blame me for the diet not working, but it's actually fucking you. Yeah. Right?
Yep. And the reality is that that's the majority of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what people have to realize, is like, that is literally just the majority. And what I want to tell people is like, stop seeking as much. Like, man, like I promise you don't need a new morning routine. There's no supplement. There's no like microdosing that's going to help your business. There's no brokerage that's going to help your business. There's none of that. Like being around the right people, being in proximity, being around people who are doing business or life the way you want to do it can 100% help. However, no morning routine. There's nothing that you're missing except putting in the fucking work over a long period of time and being extremely consistent about it. Like I didn't go out and seek a Will Grimes at all. I didn't seek anyone in fucking real estate. I didn't have anyone to seek. I got on Google. I figured out. I watched YouTube. I watched agents on there. I learned farming. I learned how to make flyers. I got on Google. I learned how to use fucking Canva. If I have one talent, my two talents, I think, is patience, and then I can figure shit out.
You have a good
but that's not even
too.
a talent. Thank you. I wouldn't call it a talent. I can do talented things with my butt, but I would say
what? What the fuck did you just say to me? Golly. I just got a bro boner for sure.
I saw an opportunity and I took it.
That was good.
I don't know if I actually can do talented things with my butt.
We're going to be able to. Hey, listen, on the next episode of Eli's Butts, we're going to fucking find out.
If you guys haven't gone to our YouTube channel, you're going to want to see the video for that one.
Fuck yeah. Well, but hey, you figured out how to build your glutes, right? Like, I don't know, you figured it out.
Yeah. But man, just patience, understanding that, hey, things take time. But then also like, hey, we want a podcast.
Yep.
You know what? Know how to do a fucking podcast, but we get on Google, watch YouTube, figure it out.
Yeah.
Why on earth everybody doesn't do that with their,
and
their business?
We went to a podcast. Won't mention any names. It's like a top 10 real estate podcast across the country. And we saw them do it like, oh, it's possible. Yep. You already knew some of the equipment, like after Googling stuff. Here's the other reason why you don't necessarily want to always ask everybody something. We have a better production than those guys do. We've had a better setup and a better production than those guys since the first podcast.
Yep.
This is also why it's cool about the leader I was telling you about, where he said, Will, you guys are doing it better than I did. Mm-hmm. That's also like why, not to make you guys all egotistical, but what you got to understand is like, hey, have a little faith in yourself. That you get too restrictive with asking people for how to do things. You're also limited in how just their knowledge of how they did it. You could find it. You could be finding a better way to do it.
Very true.
Like if we asked everybody how to do real estate, we wouldn't be doing YouTube.
Yep.
Right? Like if we asked everybody how to do real estate, we wouldn't be throwing events. Okay, we'd be door knocking and doing fucking mailers, man. We'd be tape players. Yep. Okay, like slamming our dicks in fucking doors, man. Like not cool. That ain't fucking cool. So believe it or not, but there's fundamentals on how to be consistent, how to have a good product, how to speak well. There's fundamentals regardless of what you're going to try to do.
Yep.
So if you're going to do a flyer, what it says on that flyer, the quality of flyer, is it in the mail? Is it on the door? Are you shaking? Right? Like there's still fundamentals.
Yes.
And hey, are you consistently mailing these out, or just something you did twice a year? So there's still fundamentals.
There are.
That will be, across the board. But the bottom line is that, and like how you and I met, dude, it just came together. I came from the fitness world after you had already left the fitness world. I knew video and stuff was powerful. We had success with it in the fitness world. No one was really doing it in the real estate world. I saw you doing your videos and stuff, and I'm like, man, I'm just going to go be a part of that guy's team. Like, because he's doing video, which means when I want to do that, he's not going to question what I want to do, because he's already in a line with like how I want to approach it.
Yep.
I didn't know if you were better than me at it. I don't know if you were worse than me at it. I just was like, hey, that's a place I can grow because it'll allow me to do the work there. And then, man, you and I met, and I just asked to be on your team. Mm-hmm. That was it. And then over time, you were like, hey, man, we need to fucking run this together, dude. There's just
over
things about you.
In like 2 weeks or something.
Cool. Well, but the point is, I didn't come in entitled or anything. I didn't come in going, hey, bro, and dude, we've had this in real estate where people want to fucking partner up. It's like, dude, I know what you're doing. You want to ride coattails because you're fucking scared.
Yep.
Everybody's scared when they're new. Cut it out. Just come learn, right? Like, but so when I came to your team, dude, I just wanted a spot on the team because it gave me room to just grow and exercise my vision and put the work in without having any conflict. Because there are some brokerages or some leaders that if they're not in the video or different stuff, they want to critique everything you're doing.
Yeah.
Or they think they're your boss.
Yep.
So I knew, hey, that guy sees things how I see things. I can go, but there was no, hey man, we should partner up. Like, none.
No, I saw you putting in the fucking work. I saw you doing shit the way you do it, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. So, man, it was truly like both of us just doing the work, and then we crossed paths, and the work kept going together.
And arguments, like you're vicious, you yell a lot, you
I told him to shut up just last
Dude,
night.
Fucking hell, bro, you did. I called you the best realtor. What'd I call you?
The best realtor. No.
You're like, shut up. I think you said bitch. Can't remember,
I didn't say
behind
bitch.
the scenes, man, you're fucking cutthroat, right? Like, but at the end of the day, like, it's always been productive. But if you're out there, I've said this like 20 times, we're going to leave you with this, but you've got to put the work in. 2 points, right? If you want to level up or be a part of certain circles, like they've just got to see the work that's going to be going in. They're screening you just as much as you're screening them. And if they're already leveled up, they don't need you. Mm-hmm. They might want you. They might want you a part of their network. They don't necessarily need you. You might need them to some extent, right? So just putting in the work does more than you might think. Secondly, the work might also shed some light that you might actually be in a position where you can do it better than some of those guys ahead of you. Mm-hmm. Dude, like the guys ahead of us, Curtis said to himself, you guys do it better than me. Now, there's some things that we're going to learn from him business-wise.
Of course, yeah.
But as far as like modern real estate or building a brand, hey, we're just doing some things better. Like, so that's cool, man. It also feels like it gives us something to contribute to. But that's where I want you guys to like, hey, bet on yourself. If you're always asking for the how-to or the specific answer, realize that answer and that how-to is going to be limited to that person's level of experience in that specific thing. So if you ask me something outside of my scope, like one day, dude, if real estate's an NFT and I didn't fucking turn that stone because we built how we built, even though we're at the top level of real estate and a new guy comes and asks me that, just because I've built a level of success and you admire me for that, doesn't mean I'm the best guy to ask that question to. Mm-hmm. People also have to realize where they're seeking certain things, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, 100%. And man, my last thought is that, I think one thing that helps us both in business a lot, operate from a place of like zero fear, is I know you're the exact same way. I'm this exact same way. Is I know, man, we could lose fucking everything. Not only we could lose everything, if we had to, bro, I'd be more than fine selling my house, selling my stupid truck, selling my stupid motorcycle, taking the family, getting a 2-bedroom fucking apartment and renting. Yeah. I've done food delivery. There's shit. I will fucking make money. We're not going to die. We're not going to starve to death. My family will be okay.
Yeah.
And we can rebuild.
Being able to downsize.
There's nothing we're going to do or nothing can happen economically where I'm going to die. My family's going to be destroyed, right? Mm-hmm. Play out the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like people they're so fearful of like, oh, I can't leave my brokerage. Oh, I can't leave my job. This might are you going to fucking die?
And you got to realize like your job is not as... Here's what I've told like a lot of my police officer friends too, because like they get wrapped around like a consistent paycheck and certain things. And I'm like, hey man, your check is not consistent. You are, because you do one thing wrong in that department right now, they're gonna burn your ass.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, but because you're locked on and proficient in whatever, you're consistent, and that's why you're still getting that check.
That's interesting.
The second you fuck up, they're gonna fucking burn you, dude. They're gonna make an example out of you. The hard part about the police world is like even being locked on, there are so many situations that are out of your control per se, depending on what's evolving as you arrive on scene.
Yeah. Some
circumstances of getting burned aren't even up to you, dude. Mm-hmm. That's the hard part with that. Any other type of career that if you're a 9 to 5 or whatever it is, that paycheck is showing up every 2 weeks because you're consistent. You're crushing your job. You're a value add to that place. So why don't you, if you had the ambition to do more, why don't you realize that you can trust and bet on yourself? Because I promise you, no other institution, even if it's non-police related, they're not just keeping, unless you're, I don't know, I don't want to make any jokes, but they're keeping you around because you're a value add.
Yes.
If you weren't, they'd fire your ass.
Yes.
So that's not a consistent paycheck. You're somehow being... excellent. There are some,
and can you
you can coast, but
can you take a couple uncomfortable years? Can you get rid of that car for a couple years in order to live the rest of your life?
Probably not.
Balling out of control.
Because there's also not any guarantee. Like when people have a consistent quote unquote paycheck, it's like they know that's there until they retire. I don't know. And here's the thing: respect to everybody listening. We ain't fucking talking to them hoes.
Yeah.
We ain't talking to them if they're not in that mindset. Cool, True. Respect, do your thing. We're talking to people that have already like, hey, they're in that. So if you're in that, bet on yourself.
Yep.
Work hard. Don't be too hard on yourself. Be a little bit more self-forgiving, but like put the work in it. And man, when you're leveling up, whatever it may be so focused on just by being around something, how that can help. And by, hey, if you really want to do something for that circle, just do the work. But if you're expecting that they should be doing something for you outside of just pouring into you, you're gonna miss out. Because most of your circles, as I'm starting to figure out, they don't fucking need us, bro. Mm-hmm. They want us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't need shit.
Yeah. They'll be okay.
And we're starting to get to a level where like, man, I want everybody.
Yep.
So I truly feel like we can help everybody with their business in real estate. I don't need you. And I don't need you because somebody else is going to be super eager and happy to take what is being given, right? And I'd rather focus the time on that person. So if you're in that other state of entitlement, times are changing.
Yes, they
should be the same, right?
Yes, they are.
Right on.
Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, guys. Thanks for listening. We're back on our, speaking of consistency, back on our consistency train with this.
Yeah, you guys know, man, we have a brand, we have a business, we do real estate. So, if we can't do these every single week, we try to. But if we can't, it's because we've got other things going on that take priority with actually helping agents and making sure that everyone's taken care of. So when there's time, we crush it. If it's not, and it has to go, not a problem. I'll be in Texas here in 2 weeks.
Next week, yeah.
For a build convention, and we'll be in Vegas in October. So there'll be a couple that we might miss, but we freaking love you guys. We love the support. I hear from you guys on my Instagram all the time, which is super cool. So if you hit me up there, we'll always get back to you guys and chop it up and have a great conversation, even if you're not in real estate. But, man, just be a good dude, be a good chick, put the work in.
Appreciate you guys watching.
See you guys.
All right, see ya.
From nothing, I can never take a day off.